Dalela Scoop sinene Sikulava When benge Scoop sinene Sikulava When benge.
What's up everybody? The name is Zayda. I wanna introduce you guys to our second episode of Mixing Amapiano Soulful Song. You're still with your boy Zayda, the PELE-PELE mixing and mastering engineer. So today we're gonna deal with vocals. On the last episode we dealt with the drums and we covered almost everything about the drums, but I know there are some people who feel like there's some things that are missing when I mix the drums. There are some other things that I need to cover, like automating my drums. How do I get that sound? We're still gonna go back and redo some of those things, but I want us to just keep moving forward, man. Touch on the important things, because music is all about that. You wanna just touch on the important things. Even when you're mixing, guys, there are some sounds that you don't have to necessarily mix because they're already sounding nice. So that's how mixing is. You just mix the sound that you feel like you need it to be perfect. You don't just go and mix everything because you know how to put your equalizer, you know how to put your compressor. Now you feel like you have to put on every channel. That's not how you mix. That's definitely not how you mix. You mix because you wanna fix the issues of the song, So you need to give that creative space for the producers, because they already gave you the sound. They know the sound is sounding almost perfectly, but they just need your touch as an engineer. So that's what you're here for. You wanna mix and fix the problems that the producers are not trained to hear. So yeah, welcome to this channel, man. If you're an engineer, you wanna mix vocals, you have your studio, you have your mic, you have your sound card, you have your computer, but you don't know how to mix vocal perfectly. So I'm your guy. This is a perfect tutorial for you guys to learn almost everything about vocals. Everything that you need to know about vocal: the equalizer, the compressor, the reverbs, the saturation, the harmonics, and everything. The backups, how you mix backup vocals. So I want you guys to keep liking the video, subscribe if you like it, and then share it to your guys, man. Share it to your guys, let them know, hey man, here's the plug. Where's Zayda? Zayda is the plug, is gonna teach you. So it is what it is. Today we're jumping on vocals on this song, which is a very nice song. I don't wanna lie, it's a very nice song, a Soulful Amapiano song. I'm using Studio One, which is my DAW Studio One. I know most of you guys use Fruity Loops, some use Logic, but me, I prefer Studio One. I've been using this jaw for almost like 6 years now, and it's been treating me very well. So that's what's up, guys. Let's just firstly listen to the chorus. I'm just gonna play the chorus, just only the chorus, and then we're gonna mute the music and play the vocals with the drums, because that's how I mix. I mix the drum first and then I follow with the vocals. That's how I get that sound that I wanted to get. Because when you mix is genre specific. You don't have to mix every song the same. But when it comes to Amapiano sound, you know that the drums are the groove. The drums bring the groove, and then the vocals follow after, and then the music comes afterward. So you have to mix accordingly to the way people perceive the sound. So yeah, man, keep liking the video, subscribe, share it to your friend, and then let's firstly listen to this chorus, and then you're gonna get the idea on how I mixed the vocals and how I made sure that my effects are in time with the vocals. Yeah, so as you guys can hear, that's the chorus of the song. So I want us to play the before and after before I start showing all the plugins that I use for this song. I want to hear the before and after so you guys can hear how I receive the vocals, and how I mix them to sound the way they are sounding now. So let's listen the before and after, and then we're gonna hear what did I do. It's a very great performance, you know. Tapele looks can give you a very good performance when it comes to my vocal. So that's how I got the sound. That's how I got the vocals. They are sounding very low, out of out of the context of the song. So I just wanted them to fit in, and then let's listen to the after now. After I mix them. Yeah, man. Yeah, so let's jump on to it. Let's jump on to this business, man. So as you guys can see, I've have used Autotune. Autotune is almost on every channel of these vocals, and sometimes Autotune that you use on your vocals, you know, is the one that dictates how the pitching is gonna sound, and how natural or how effective you want your Autotune to sound. So me, I prefer Autotune EFX. Autotune EFX is just two knobs. You know, you have to just manipulate two knobs, the retune speed as well as the harmonize. So you're not gonna go wrong. So I don't want plugins that are gonna have too many knobs. Now I don't know where I have to, you know, auto tune and then humanize and then another one and then another one. Nah, I feel like that takes too much of my time, because as I said before, that mixing is a mixing, you mix with time, so you have to make sure that you're efficient, you're fast as much as you can, and then you get the song where it needs to go. So let's listen to this vocal solo. So the first plugin that I used was Autotune. Obviously, I wanted to get the tune. I wanted to make this vocal be in line with the tune of the song, because I know he's a very perfect singer. Tapele looks, she's a very perfect singer. She gives me the vocals that I want. But on this, you know, as you can tell, the retune speed is not even to 0, it's 35. So you see that this girl knows how to sing. But I wanted to give me that tune, you know, to be inside the song. And then another thing that I used is this channel strip. So I think we have to have another video for using channel strips on your song, because you know, we guys like me, I don't have an analog board here. I don't have an analog board here in my studio. I just have my computer and then my plugins and then my mic, you know, and then my expensive sound card. But I don't have an analog board. So I think that's the thing that we should discuss on another video. When you use channel strips, you wanna emulate that sound of getting that board, you know, that analog board. So most of the time when I use this plugin, I put it on almost everything. If you watch the drum video that I did, the drum episode, you can see some of my drums having this plugin. Even the drum bass have this plugin. Even the vocal bass is gonna have this plugin. So I wanna emulate that analog sound using this plugin, because it's a very perfect plugin. SSL State Logic plugin. It's a very nice plugin. It's gonna give you that board sound. Because sometimes you guys can mix a song, but you can't get it to sound like the way this commercial record sounds like. That's the problem, because you're not emulating that analog sound. And most of these records, they were recorded using that board, that hardware board. They have the mixing there, they have a hardware compressor. You're using that feature compressor, then you think you're gonna get the sound. No, my brother. Even me, I'm just emulating. I'm not getting that sound 100%, but for the fact that I'm emulating it, at least it's gonna give me that 60 to 80 sound closeness, because that's what we do, man. We use what we have to get the sound, man. That's what it is. You're a producer, so you have to use what you have to get the sound. So this is a plugin that I use to emulate that board. So on this plugin, what I did, because it's the first plugin after auto-tune, I didn't want to boost any frequencies here or change the vocals or compress it, however, but I wanted to filter, carve out the low end of the vocals, because I know when I put the compressor, it's going to accentuate too much, it's going to bring out too much of that low end, and then the vocal is going to sound boxy. This is a female vocal, so we like it to sound shiny and present. So this is what I did. I cut off the low frequencies, 181 hertz, until it sounded clean. Let's hear how it's sounding without this board, and then we're gonna hear the changes from there. Let me switch off the other plugins, switch off the other plugins, and then hear this board alone. This SSL plugin, I'm saying this board, excuse me guys.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa ngikuqengeta long thembe wena.
So I didn't want to do much, obviously. Carve off the low end and then move forward. And then another thing, I had this virtual mix rack. You know what I do in my studio? When I record somebody, on my mic effect, on my mic, because every mic has a channel, right? That channel of a mic, I put this mic emulator from Virtual Mix Rack. This is a very nice plugin that's gonna emulate your mic to sound different, because they have different types of mics here. They have B47, B51, B67, and it's not only that. They also have classic instrument as well as classic tube. So you have a lot of mics to emulate your sound. You understand? Yeah, if you have because most of the time, let me tell you something. If you mix a song, you want to get the vocals closely to the mix as much as you can. So you cannot get vocals that are not clean, that are very wrong, that are sounding very dirty, and then you want to get the mix to sound perfect, just like that. You need, from the recording phase, you need to record like you want to get the song down as much as you can. So from the recording phase, you need to be perfect, and then when you start mixing, you can take the song to 100%. So your recording phase needs to give you like at least 70%, 80% of the song sounding like it's already done. Many of my clients that are working with me, they know when we're done recording, it sounds like the song is already mixed. And then now when I'm mixing the song, I'm just giving them what they want, but in a better version. So in this plugin, I just wanted to emulate this sound, because I know that my vocals on this mic, you cannot use one mic and expect your vocal to sound clean on every artist. Every artist have their own vocal tone, they have their own bass, their own treble, so it's not gonna pick every artist perfectly. That's what we know. So as a pro studio, you need to have different mics. But if you don't have different mics, don't worry. Zera got you. Zera got you. I got you, my brother. I got you, man. So we're gonna use this plugin, which is the Virtual Mix Rack from Digital Slate. It's gonna emulate your mic to sound different on every artist. So you're gonna choose which mic that you want. If you feel like this artist is too bass on this one, let me try this one, or let me just try this one. So you're gonna have options to just emulate however sound that you want. You wanna get close to the final mix. So if your mic feel like it's muddy, but you wanna have that shiny high end, so you can't use an equalizer, just start by using this mic emulator. This mic emulator is going to change your mic to sound high-endy, and then when you get the vocals in a session, they already sound like they are there, and then you know what you do. So let's just hear what this emulator did for the vocals.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla.
So you can hear that the high end is starting to be present. That's it's starting to come out now, and I can hear what she says. When I bypass the plugin, she's sounding very flat. I cannot hear what she's saying. But when I on it on the high frequency, there's a boost that's happening there. So another thing, what I wanted to boost the volume, because when you mix, you also balancing the sound. So I wanted to get me a little bit of volume before I can start throwing off some compressor and everything. So this is a mix tool from Studio One. It's more like a gain plugin. Every DAW have a gain plugin. Stop asking me, oh, what a mix tool? A mix tool is a plugin for gain. You just want to get the volume, nothing more. So let's hear the volume that I got.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa.
And I want to tell you something. When you put a plugin like this, it matters where did you put it. Did you put it at the start or after some treatment? Because if you open up a volume after that plugin emulator that I show you guys, it's gonna accentuate too much of that emulation. So you're boosting the volume of this effect. Every plugin has an order. So if you have that thing in mind, you know how to mix a song. You know that, okay, if I mix this sound, if I put a plugin after an equalizer, it's going to accentuate too much of that equalization that I did. If I put this plugin after this one, that means that effects before is going to get transferred to this one, and then you understand. Yeah, so you need to have that step-by-step mixing. You cannot just start with anything and expect your vocal to sound perfect. You need to go in line with the structure of how you want your sound to come out. And then from there, after that mix tool, I had this digital mixing plugin, Digital BX Vision 3. It's a very nice plugin. I love it for surgical EQ, because you need to cut off some bad frequencies from your mic. You understand? You need to cut off some bad frequencies from your mic. So I wanted to do some surgical EQ there, cut off some, unwanted frequencies before I can jump on to putting saturation as well as the compressors and everything. You know what I'm saying? So let's hear.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa. Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to for her to be present. And to be in a mix. The next plugin that I followed with was Sooth. Sooth is nice with taming all of your low frequencies. And then let's hear.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa.
You understand? So I wanted to make sure that some of my harsh frequencies didn't come off as much. And on that Sooth plugin, you see that the main focus was the high frequency. So I was making sure that the S's doesn't come so much to affect the way I wanted to sound. And then after I did that thing, I wanted to boost. Spectre is a very nice plugin. It's a nice plugin from Waves, if I'm not sure. Waves and it's not an EQ. It's a saturation plugin. This thing here, what it does, instead of boosting like an EQ, an EQ, when you boost here is gonna boost that frequency, but on this plugin it's not boosting the frequency exactly. It's boosting the harmonics, and it's giving you the saturation for this specific frequency that you want. As you can tell here, they have a different type of emulation. You have your solid, you have your warm, you have your tube, you have your tape sound of saturation. So it's not an EQ, guys, it's just a saturation. So yeah, I wanted to boost this frequency to give her the body, because now I feel like some of the body is being lost by me carving out some of that low end, so I wanted to give that body back, but not with an equalizer. I'm not bringing the frequency back, but I'm bringing the saturation with nice harmonics with it. Let's hear it again.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa.
So you can tell by putting that plugin in, it just gave her the body that we wanted, and it gave her the presence. Now she can. So it's a female vocal, but we wanted to have a body like it's a male vocal. So that's what's up. And then on my last chain, I have a compressor, a 5-filter compressor. I really love this compressor. I don't wanna lie, guys. This is a all-in-one. You see, when you have this compressor all-in-one, this compressor, guys, I really love it so much. Especially there are different types of compression here in one compressor. That's their win for me, because I can change whether I want a classic compressor up to vocal compressor, mastering compressor, or just a clean compressor. So this is a go-to. If you're not using this plugin, you're losing. If you're not using this plugin, you're losing, my brother. Go download 5-filter and use this plugin. This plugin is gonna get you the money that you want. I'm gonna make money with this plugin, I swear, guys. Let's listen.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa. Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa.
So you can tell that the compression, what it did, it just made sure that every frequency that I boosted, that I cutted, they just sounding all rounded now. The vocal is sounding full and perfect. Understand? The vocal is sounding full and perfect. And then we have also the backups, which I did almost a similar thing. Like on this vocal here, I think it's a second take. I did the very same thing.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa. Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa.
Let's listen that with my drums, and then here we've got.
Ngikuqengeta long thembe wena ambetha amandla njengengubo kodwa kwedolo nako sekuyabalisa.
And on my bass for the vocals, I have a fresh air plugin as well as this plugin, Apex Exciter. So I just wanted to give me that clarity, that vocal sound, for the vocals. So all my vocals jump off to these two plugins. These two plugins gave me the high end as well as the saturation, the harmonics for the high end that I want. So let's listen to the before and after of these two plugins. see, not too much of a change, not too much of a change at all. It's just give me that brightness, that shininess that I want from a vocal. And then yeah, guys, that's how it is. And on the next video, on my third episode, I'm gonna jump on to how I mix my reverbs, how I get my reverb to sound nice, and how I get this reverb vocal to sound perfect on this vocal. So I just want you guys to keep liking the video, subscribe, and then we're gonna jump on to the next section of this video, which is I'm gonna deal with the reverbs, and then I'm gonna deal with the music, the instruments individually, how I mix the keys and everything. So let's listen to the whole song again, the chorus. That's what's up, guys. That's what's up, guys. So that's what's up. That's how you mix your vocals. Just hit me up, comment with how you like your vocal to sound, and what else do you want me to cover. And then I'm gonna let you on. I'm gonna give you the plug. Stay tuned for the next episode. Danko.